Q block is a little bit interesting. We were somewhat confused by it, if I'm perfectly honest, with one Doomsayer, one Hellfire, one Mortal Coil, one Twisting Nether. It's a little bit of an unfocused matchup, I would say. But Staz here rocking the Odd Hunter again, which has been doing a lot better than I was expecting in this tournament. I have to be honest, I was not expecting this to be seeing a lot of play.
Should be the big favourite in this matchup as well, as Spiteful Druid is known as the control killer deck. And this Hunter is certainly not a control deck.
I mean, he controls the face pretty well. Like, that life total is getting the living heck controlled out of it.
And katsucurry's opening hand is pretty awful. Greedy Sprite cannot come down until turn 3. He's... okay, he's not now stuck with just a hero power. He can play both the 1-2s, and I guess he goes for that.
Kind of about the best start he could get, considering his dire opening hand outside of, I suppose, a Keleseth to start things off. But like you said, for Staz, this is fine, because even just one turn of weak development from your opponent is more than enough to push 5-6 damage, something very impressive like that. And then, as long as Malfurion doesn't come down, there's pretty much no heal whatsoever in this Druid deck, outside of, obviously, Ultimate Infestation right at the end of the game. But, to be honest, something tells me this game will not be going to turn 10.
Yeah, what would that be? Would that be the 3 arrows by the hero power there? Or
it would be indeed.
Or the fact that there is a Bear Shark on the board right now that can only be killed if Katsu is willing to spend his entire turn face tanking it.
It's just the last thing he wants to be doing. Like, in terms of cards he could have actually drawn there to shut things out, like Glacial Shard, I suppose, to slow things down, or maybe a Crypt Lord, in order to put at least a roadblock in terms of his opponent's face plan. But for Staz, like we keep mentioning, it's looking absolutely a-okay. You can just plow all this damage through to face, and then tracking, finding something like, I don't know, Eaglehorn Bow, Unleash the Hounds, Leroy, something like that. Like, he doesn't actually have to have that many more minion cards or board control cards whatsoever. You can just start plowing this through to face pretty quickly.
Staz is just so relaxed here. Katsu plays the Greedy Sprite, and if Staz wants to, he can just equip the Candle Shot. Yeah. Just make the trade, hero power.
Easy.
That Bear Shark is going face every turn for the rest until the end of time.
I would agree with you there. Or at least until the end of turn 6.
When the game ends.
Yeah, exactly. And here for katsucurry, this is such a pivotal moment in the game, and I believe he will end up going for the Greedy Sprite, because if he starts going for defensive hero power lines of play now, he's just going to be losing board control. And while this is very likely going to end up in a pretty terrible trade, if I'm being perfectly honest here, for katsucurry. This being value traded by either the Mole or a Candle Shot, maybe an Unleash the Hounds from Staz. So many ways to completely shut down this strategy for Staz. And katsucurry, the reason I like I'm describing why Greedy Sprite is bad. The reason I like it is because it gets him towards his own win conditions a lot quicker. If he can get something like Spiteful Summoner or ramp up to a Malfurion off the top, it's things like that. Yeah. Hopeful scenarios.
Malfurion is the real win condition of this matchup, isn't it? Like, at 6 mana, summoning a 12/12 untargetable actually just isn't good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, you really need something a little bit more impactful than that. And if you're ramping up with Greedy Sprite, you can start to look towards your own lethals fairly quickly in this matchup, I would say. But like you said, generally a 6 mana 4/4 and 12/12 is too slow, as crazy as it seems.
I am surprised by the use of tracking this turn. I did think Staz would be taking advantage and slamming that hero power at every possible moment. What did you make of that?
So we want to develop onto the board on the same turn, which I think is the right way to go for the moment. I mean, this is, again, I keep bringing it up, this is Staz 101. Like, he goes for board control wherever possible, which is maybe not necessarily, as you pointed out, the best way to take this matchup. But I think it's a pretty good understanding from him that, you know, he has to start playing, he has to keep playing for board control here. There's a little bit, he hasn't got quite enough damage to just go all out for the face quite at this point, which is why I do like that trade there. The thing I do question, however, is not the playing of tracking, it's the not playing of flame elements. I think playing slightly more heavily for the board may have favored him even more in that scenario, instead of just going for a tracking, which is, you know, worked out well for him. It picked him up a very nice animal companion here. But I think he should commit to a line of play. If he's going for board control, really go for board control.
The Fungal Mancer did deal a lot of damage to Staz, actually, though. It did significantly slow him down, and now Staz is having to trade even more. Again, Staz 101, making the trades. katsucurry actually does appear to have an opening here to slam down Spiteful Summoner, and if he does get that 12-12 untargetable, or really any of the 12-12s or any of the big minions, this is going to be very difficult for Staz to deal with. I think he's going to have no choice now but to entirely give up his board control strategy and just start slamming everything he's got into the face, and I fear he might actually be a little bit too late.
As katsucurry, I mean, it says a lot about Spiteful Summoner when an 8-8 being summoned on turn 6 is a bad outcome. The true power of the card at the moment. Obviously, with only 5 10-drops currently being in the game, 2 8-8s, 2 12-12s, and a 7-14. This is kind of the worst that katsucurry could have here. Apart from, I don't know, maybe Megasaur would have been worse because you do just want to get through, sorry, Ultrasaur. You want to get through as much damage to the face as possible at this point. But it's close. Guarantee
it. Next expansion, 10 mana 1/1 with an amazing battle cry. So.
Uber Wisp. Yeah. But in this particular scenario, it's interesting how quickly, just the impact that Spiteful Summoner has on a game and the meta is that this has gone from a fight for board control to a race, like that. Like, both of these players, I think, are just going to be going for pure face damage, because katsucurry with Fungalmancer on this turn, or even a Crypt Lord. Like,
now Katsu is definitely going to be going for face damage, because he can just hide behind the Crypt Lord. Though, he is, of course, aware that there are several silences in Staz's deck.
I hate to say it to you, Falk, but we're going to have to do some counting
here.
I know, it's your least favourite thing, but we're going to have to do it. There is 12 damage on board at the moment, up to 16 with Fungalmancer. This is very easily 2-turn lethal for katsucurry if Staz does not go for the trading route. But then we need to look at the other side for Staz, what he's got knocking about, which is 6, 7, 10 damage currently represented. So if we did just see Fungalmancer and Hero Power, that would be 1 damage off lethal, I believe, with the kill command. And katsucurry, I think he's going to be expecting a kill command, to be honest. I think he's going to be preparing for 5 damage. But at the same time, does he have to prepare for Leroy? Because if he goes for Fungalmancer Hero Power and all face, that's game over. He's lost.
Is there a safe way of setting up a 2-turn lethal? There doesn't appear to be, at least from what I can see.
So the other play is what? Crypt Lord Spellbreaker, everything through to face.
Oh, katsucurry's found a third play.
Okay. So he's going all in on the trades here. And so if he'd gone Crypt Lord Spellbreaker, it would demand a silence from his opponent, and it would still have removed 2 damage from the board. This is, I guess, his halfway play where he still sets up lethal.
And as we've established, Staz does not have lethal right now with only 10 damage. 10 damage, is that? Yeah, 10 damage available to him.
Yeah.
So now the Face Hunter is in this horrible position where he actually can't just go face.
13. So there's lethal represented on board for katsucurry, even without the Fungalmancer.
So I guess the easiest thing for Staz to do is clear up the Spiteful Summoner. He can just put the weapon and the minion in. Maybe kill command first? He's still got the kill command after an IMP Cow next turn, but he can't play Owl, kill command, and the hero power together.
So let's again have a look at the numbers here. If we see killing off of the Spiteful Summoner, which obviously the Hunter would take no damage due to the effect of Candle Shot, 5 damage to face with the kill command, 3 with the hero power. That's down to 7 health, I believe, on that turn, which gives him few outs, but still gives him the ability to win the game in that position. But instead, he's trying to wrestle this back with Owl, saving all damage for face, and that does mean, however, that katsucurry, I believe, is going to be equalizing this game with Fungalmancer. 1 game apiece as we head forward.
What a game of Hearthstone there, again with the unfavored deck winning. The turn that I personally think caused that was when Staz made too many of those trades somewhere in the middle. It was just before the Fungalmancer turn.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And yeah, I feel like just a little bit more damage being pushed through, a little bit of